Greetings everyone, it is I, Dr. Labs, and welcome to the SCP Live, starting the SCP 3004, which I again can't find the time to make a thumbnail for. I'm sorry. I probably could have, but I got a bit distracted. I'm live, as you can see, with Tump, who, if you have been speaking to me fairly recently, you might know that we had a bit of a falling out, this Black Rat and I, who has he's the smallest of his brothers and apparently accordingly the most neurotic. But as you can see, everything's been patched up and I'm not going to hold a grudge. Am I? And neither are they. Let's see, who do we have today? We have 13 viewers and 8 likes. If everyone liked this right now, this stream would be an immediate success. But maybe you want to, take some time to see whether or not it's any good before you put that like forward. And that's fair. I will try to earn the remaining likes if I possibly can. Greetings in chat to Haven Hand, K. Shoal, Storm Raven, Snoopy SN100, Malice, Bjivetten, Anthem Ward, Nexus Hunter, and am I missing someone? Could have sworn I saw someone there and they just lost it. Well, greetings also to GemMax, and thank you very much for your generous promotion, Assassin the Grey. I very much appreciate it. And thank you. He's adorable when he isn't freaking out over his cage suddenly being too clean and not smelling like it used to be and losing his temper with me. But in hindsight, again, something I don't notice. I know he was trying to warn me he was losing his fuzzy little mind, and I just didn't read it right. So, I have to take some responsibility. After all, he has a brain that's half the size of a thimble. He's doing really well with it. I mean, far better than most rodents typically do. But there's only so much responsibility you can put on a head that small. So I must instead, using my own much more massive noggin, bear the weight. Okay, a few things before we get started with this particular SCP file. It pertains heavily, in my opinion, to the previous, and if it is truly neutralized, as it's said to be, then presumably all the Cousin John incidents are happening as well. Unexpected monetary support! Let me see what this is. Come on, load, system. Malice has thrown $5 my way. Most sincerely appreciated, especially my present budget, for some cheese for the overgrown mouse. Having no, this is no mouse. Mice are awful. This is a rat. Rats are vastly superior in every way. Unlike hamsters and gerbils, these creatures have redeeming qualities and are very just sweet, just the absolute gold standard for small mammal pets, I have to say. Don't require much walking, like to ride on the shoulder, and you just have to be aware that they're very territorial with their smells and don't like it when suddenly everything that smelled like them doesn't smell like them as much anymore. Yeah. Oh, I see we're agreed, Malice. Yes, best pets aside of cats, and I prefer anything else with adding to the name. Okay, but actually, it's a funny coincidence. Yes, cats and rats, both things that are an at, make fairly decent pets. I prefer the rats to cats, though. Okay, you guys are going to be jealous of me when I'm going to Texas? Oh. Well, I hope you have fun there. Presumably, you're not going to be seeing the worst of the weather. We're not in summer yet. I would suggest... Okay, AT's best pets confirmed. Novel. Before I forget, on this stream, we're raffling a game! Yes, Exodus provided me some Steam keys not too long ago, and we are down to the last two. The very last one being WWE 2023, which I might be competing for myself. Although I does have a character creator. This time, however, we're raffling off OTXO. I'll be playing the trailer for that after this particular SCP. Meanwhile, this show is not just interactive, but easily joinable. If you have access to the Arketer Labs Volunteer Reserve Discord server, and 5 minutes you want to burn, feel free to pop into the green room where I'm presently live on Discord, and you can, make some comments on the SCP review, say hi, maybe pitch your own creator stuff, which has always been an option for anyone towards the end of the stream regardless. If you already know what OTXO is and you want in on the raffle, well, you can enter the raffle right now, just as Assassin the Grey has given you the instruction to do so. It's best to tag me in chat, just to ensure. And rats are terrible pets. Yes, well, you can, you're entitled to your poor take on rats. Disagree. They are a bit, casual with that, though, to be fair. Not really a problem here, as this lab coat is very stain repellent. Okay, SCP-3004, Object Class, Neutralized. Special containment features: the threat posed by SCP-3004 has remained neutralized. Containment of SCP-3004 is focused solely on interception of artifacts that point toward the existence of the set lady. To that end, well, actually, apparently that's Celtic, so it's spelled set lady, but it probably is like sore margarine or something like that. That language is not serious. To that end, archaeological sites in Ireland and Wales should be monitored closely. Artifacts are to be confiscated, catalogued, and incinerated. All SCP-3004 related materials are to be dealt with by the Theology Department. Director Clark is to be notified immediately if any events thought to be SCP-3004 related occur. SCP-3004-1 is believed to have been destroyed or otherwise deterred from the material plane and no longer requires containment. Any information found regarding the instance of Cicadata luculenta is to be destroyed, and civilians involved are amnesticized due to its connection to SCP-3004. Description: SCP-3004 refers to a series of anomalous events linked to the rituals of a druidic cult known as the Scrumhobbly, or the Singers. They were located primarily in Ireland during the 15th to early 19th century. It is known that their worship revolved around the life cycle of the now extinct Cicadata luculenta, or stained glass cicada. Due to the combined actions of various antecedent groups to the Foundation, including the Vatican's Congregation for Otherworldly Acts and the Royal Society for the Imprisonment of Abnormalcy, all knowledge of SCP-3004 and the Singers was destroyed in order to contain 3004-1. As 3004 was thus destroyed, the SCP-3004-1 entity ceased all activity. SCP-3004 events centered around imagery associated with the rites of the Singers. They occurred most commonly during the celebrations surrounding a child's entrance into adulthood, which was signified by the first loss of primary teeth. These events were theorized to lead to the entrance of their deity, dubbed 3004-1, into local space-time. 3004 events are understood to have been the result of SCP-3004-1 attempting to act upon the material world. It is unclear as to when SCP-3004-1 began to react to the beliefs of the Singers. While there are signs of varied SCP-3004 events, there are few reports that still exist. Artwork relating to SCP-3004 events show the stained glass cicada coming from the facial orifices, causing asphyxiation in many. Written records detail the sightings of anomalously large instances of stained glass cicada, believed to be SCP-3004-1, appearing in the sky, the sight of which caused painful boils in those who witnessed it, along with symptoms resembling radiation sickness. Despite this, the Singers were said to have continued the rituals in the face of 3004 events, which were seen as necessitating their destruction. SCP-3004-1 was an entity which interacted with the Singers through the rituals, causing 3004 events. Little is known about the nature of SCP-3004-1. It is theorized to have been a thought form or an extra-dimensional being that, through happenstance, responded to the rituals of the Singers. There is no data that exists to point towards SCP-3004-1 being anything greater than a Level 3 pistophage, or Faith Eater, entity. Now, there's more to it, to be sure. Aren't those Imperial elephants that are mechanical? I'm not sure where Imperial elephants that may or may not be mechanical came into this. But we're at 12 likes, which means that we're just shy of a success. And it is kind of hard to get 80 to sit. But you can do it. The training is so difficult though. Lots of specialized equipment necessary. Alright, Arketer report, J. Clark, S.J. Due to the intimate nature of this subject, for example, all who read this will surely, Christ willing, know me and I them, and its currently neutralized state. I'm going to keep the academic hot air to a minimum. I have no desire or need to impress any of you. You're my colleagues, and I think we all understand there's no need to hide what this is beneath jargon and posturing. 3004 is a deity. If you wish to define a thing as such, a deity is a creature of law, ritual, and belief. Certainly, its existence doesn't shake my faith. Nothing has, and I doubt a curious thought form attracted to cicadas and greenery will shake it yet. It is not infinite, and it is not all-knowing. Quite the opposite. Its limits are apparent. Cut off from a few rituals and direct believers, 2004 ceased all activity. There have been no resurgence events, and any peep. Truthfully, what little we have left of the history regarding the scribbled chibi, or the singers in vulgar English, is quite interesting. Based around the stained glass cicada and its apparent rebirth and what have you, it wasn't just a fringe you would accept. This was nationwide. They were respected members of society. There are signs of them in Wales and Scotland. So, of course, before the inevitable violence, the Catholic Church, in its ever-ineffable wisdom, may the Lord God forgive me for blaspheming one to church on this earth, of course, etc., did attempt to bring them into the fold. Before the complete eradication of the singers from the face of history, an unprecedented act of violence and usage of anomalous objects that many would see as foolhardy, maybe even horribly unwise, may the O5 Council forgive me for this, slight against the forefather of the Foundation, of course, etc., etc. The parishes in certain rural areas of Ireland seemed more singer than Christian. This is all we know. This is all that is left. The eradication of the rituals, of their culture, of their impact on Ireland and the world at large was snuffed out with an alarming thoroughness. Not unprecedented, certainly, but consider the fact this happened in the late 1700s. This was the desperate act of an early incarnation of what we all became, foolhardy and harsh, yes. But I truly cannot say that we would not have done the same, given what little we know of 2004-1's effects on our material plane. Of course, given the English view of the Irish at the time, it is not overly cynical to imagine that the Royal Society relished the chance to destroy the culture and the impact of the singers, because I'm going to stop even trying to pronounce that. So total was their destruction that the extinction of the stained glass cicada, commonly known as, became an opportunity to even wipe their sacred animal from memory of man. The deforestation of Ireland certainly led to the death of their species, but one must wonder if their extinction came from a more direct source. This, of course, is all merely speculation. Maybe the sacred animal merely followed their deity. Certainly it speaks to the fear they felt if the Royal Society and congregation would enact the destruction of an entire animal species. A harmless creature, cousin to the New Forest cicada, perhaps they feared that cut off from ritual, 2004-1 would manifest through them. The idea certainly is not ridiculous. There is a strong connection between belief and fact. Perhaps their fear would have even made it so. Given the fact that singers were upright members of society, one can imagine the resonance within their rituals at 2004-1 felt like mere happenstance, in my opinion. There is no reason to assume that this entity is at all related to the singers and their beliefs. Something in them, I hypothesize, spoke to this thing and it acclimated itself to their belief system. Think of it as something floating in a place close to ours, maybe layered above or beneath. Perhaps there are many creatures like it there. I doubt that an entity like this would exist alone, although I have no proof of this besides the certitude of my gut. Through these repetitions of behavior, through these beliefs, it was able to act on our plane, and it became what it was molded by. There is also reason to assume 2004-1 to be malevolent. It is disingenuous to think of such an entity in terms of good and evil. Given the focus the singers had on life and death, along with the imagery of Christ the Savior's death on the cross, it stands to reason that 2004-1 manifestations would be violent. It spoke the only language it knew, the language of blood, wood, glass, and sacrifice. Perhaps the brutality of its manifestations, of the events associated with the 2004 rituals, could have been the reason, could have been the 3004-1 entity interpreting the very real subjugation of the Irish people at the time, there is no reason to assume that the lives of its followers would not be just as important to the entity as their rituals. Certainly, the language of death and rebirth of the cicada, of scourging at the pillar, present in the rites of the Roman Catholicism, especially in the area of its neutralization, and what is theorized to have been rituals of the singers, could have lent all the violence to the harshness of it all. Faced with their god, a terrifying thing that sowed discord, there is no record of their reaction. There is only record of their destruction. One would imagine them to have been horrified, yet to have necessitated the destruction, they may very well have followed the entity's whims, however alien. No proof has been found to point toward either hypothesis. But again, this is all conjecture. We simply do not know enough to take any approach to this object other than making sure it never comes back. I do not believe we will be unable to deal with something such as this, given that the current technology is available to us. But it is best not to awaken a sleeping giant, as it were. Given what we have here, I can offer no other advice. Whenever we rarely find something that our predecessors missed, we will catalog it, learn what we can about what we destroyed, and move on to other things. I have to say, they did a great job of, oh wow. We are at 13 likes now. In fact, we're up to 17 likes. This stream has just been rendered a success. Huzzah! Thank you very much, every last one of you who clicked like. I appreciate it. Very much so. You know, before we even finish this particular SCP, I think we should make sure everyone is aware of what game is on raffle. So before I continue with 2004, let's take a look at the trailer for OTXO. Greetings in chat to Bernie B. You're wrong. And anyone else who might have snuck in when I wasn't looking. Right. OTXO, this is the game we're raffling off. If it appeals, please tag me in chat and let me know you want to join the raffle. If you've seen me raffle off a game before, then the method by which I raffle off this one will be absolutely no surprise. If any of that looks appealing to you, please let me know that you would like to enter the raffle. Thus far, we have Nexus Hunter in the raffle for OTXO. Anyone can join. Autoplay should not have been on. But so it was, because I wasn't paying attention. So be it. It's handled. It looks like a fun game, does it? Well, then why not enter the raffle? It's free! And having more than one person actually compete for the game would really amp up the drama, really. It would just be a huge improvement, I think. Anyone else? Just tag me in chat. Bernie B is in for the raffle for OTXO. If you win, I will need a means of contacting you either directly through Discord or the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, and is now known as X. So I can send you your key upon your glorious victory, whoever you are. At present, it's between Nexus Hunter and Burning Bee. Greetings in chat, Jinx C. Anyone else wishes to go in the raffle by chance? And I'm sorry you had a bad day, Jinxie. I'm happy to hear that I can be of any service in brightening your mood since. Okay, back to SCP-3004. The current document. Item, SCP-3004, Object Class Arketer. Special containment procedures. All communities that could possibly support an SCP-3004 event ought to be monitored for uncharacteristic rises in death rate and attendance at places of worship. If a community is shown to have been the host of an SCP-3004 event or events, all afflicted civilians ought to be amnesticized. Any injuries or deaths that occur because of these events ought to be given applicable cover stories. At no point is an individual known to be involved in an SCP-3004 event to be considered for Foundation employment, D-class or otherwise. MTF Y99 Altar Boys is tasked with responding to SCP-3004 events in progress where possible and stopping them by any means necessary. All sightings of SCP-3004-2 ought to be reported to the Theology Department. Image of SCP-3004. Images. Why'd you distract me so quickly? Images of SCP-3004-2 are to be dismissed as hoaxes or deleted as necessary. All instances of SCP-3004-2 found in the wild are to be destroyed to avoid future SCP-3004 events. As of Project Site C Lux, there are to be no attempts to track SCP-3004-2 instances. Any attempt is to be made to destroy them before their disappearance. There is to be no further attempt at contacting SCP-3004-1. SCP-3004-1 will be contained to the cleanup of SCP-3004 events and destruction of SCP-3004-2 instances. Currently, all containment is focused upon reducing the effects of 3004 events, which have already occurred. If SCP-3004-1's entrance into the material plane is unavoidable and inevitable, Protocol Damnatio ad Bestias is to be enacted. Description: SCP-3004 refers to a series of anomalous events that occur in Roman Catholic, Eastern Catholic, Anglican, and Episcopalian communities. SCP-3004 events occur without any patterns connected to the populational demographics other than religion. While SCP-3004 events are varied and have few similarities to unite them, the presence of SCP-3004-2 at each event proves a connection. SCP-3004 events are rituals carried out by otherwise non-anomalous individuals in their places of worship. Despite showing a great divergence from Christian norms of worship, individuals involved in an SCP-3004 event show great hesitation to stop engaging in the ritual, even those that involve self-harm. All individuals attending the place of worship for that purpose will not stop the rituals involved, even if their actions go against previously held morals. Individuals who normally exhibit entomophobia exhibit no fear of SCP-3004-2 instances involved in the ritual. Deaths that recur as a result of SCP-3004 rituals will be categorized as death by natural causes regardless of what was done to the individual. Those who witness an SCP-3004 ritual express a renewed interest in their chosen faith and seek to convince their friends and family to accompany them to a place of worship. Examples of SCP-3004 rituals include the slaughter of a child bearing traditional stigmata wounds, out of which crawled instances of SCP-3004-2. The child was killed when the officiating priest bit the child's jugular. SCP-3004-2 instances crawled en masse from the wounds up to 6 hours after the child's death. Which, kind of sounds like the plot of Halloween 3. The forcible removal of an officiating priest's teeth by 12 children. The children and the priest were then seen to vomit instances of SCP-3004-2. The teeth were served in the place of communion wafers later on during the Mass. The violent castration of every male who had reached puberty. Scrotal tissues were gathered and disseminated amongst the faithful and worn around the necks as scapulars. The castrated individuals then mimicked the cry of an unidentified cicada, believed to be stained glass cicada, before many succumbed to blood loss, as 3004-2 instances were observed carrying off discarded testes. A visibly pregnant woman was chosen from the congregation and brought to the altar, where she laid and proceeded to give birth to over 60 instances of SCP-3004-2 and a stillborn infant wearing a wooden crown. The crown was burnt and the body consumed. So, needless to say, this cicada extra-dimensional thing, it's vile. And I think you might be, if you happen to recall watching the last SP review, the connection to Cousin Johnny is pretty clear. SCP-3004-2 instances resemble the extinct stained glass cicada, albeit with a much more colorful wing pattern than what has been described. Despite appearing in every way alive, SCP-3004-2 instances are primarily made of wood and glass, making them objectively stained glass cicadas. It is unclear certainly if SCP-3004-2 instances are the cause of SCP-3004 events or vice versa. During an SCP-3004 event, SCP-3042 instances are observed in prominent parts of the ritual. After a ritual, SCP-3042 instances exit the church and disappear after flying at least 600 meters away. This disappearance is hypothesized to be the SCP-3042 instances returning to SCP-3041, either to feed it or perhaps to be given further orders. It is believed that SCP-3042 is the mechanism by which 3041 collects belief or faith in order to consume. It is unclear why SCP-3041 in its former incarnation did not seem to require the SCP-3042 instances. As of Project Site-C Lux, it's unknown that SCP-3041 created instances of SCP-3042 as a replacement for the now extinct stained glass cicada. SCP-3041 is the entity that controls SCP-3042 instances and is believed to be fed by the SCP-3004 rituals. SCP-3041 is a level 6 pistophage entity. If you recall, that is a faith-eating entity. And Exodus, yes, there probably is. Certainly I know that there's an SCP that is in fact an incredibly dangerous dildo. But it's a bit off track. Exodus, if you weren't already aware, is the person who did provide the game. Well, pretty much all the games I've raffled off, except for maybe like 2. Well, almost everything is the SCP version of it. I mean, look, there are over thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of SCPs, but there's still room for more. They can always add numbers. Right, moving on. And welcome, Exodus. And if anyone wanted to join in the raffle, please do let me know in chat. Just tag me, as Assassin Grey has informed you, and indicate that you wish to join the raffle. Thus far, we have Nexus Hunter and Bernie B competing in a roll-off for OTXO, which I'll replay the trailer for when we're done with this SCP. Where are we? SCP-3041 is the entity that controls 3042 instances and believed to be fed by SCP-3004 rituals. 3041 is a level 6 pistophage entity that exists in a dimension that exists partially within baseline reality, but primarily above it. From within this dimension, it is currently unable to directly manifest itself into the plane of existence. However, if given enough belief from the SCP-3042 instances, SCP-3041 will be able to enter the current baseline reality, which could or would cause an XK class into the world scenario due to the brutality of SCP-3004 events. SCP-3041 views itself as the deity worshipped under the umbrella of Christianity. Due to this, it is theorized that the beliefs of Christianity-based religions, especially Anglicanism and Roman Catholicism, melded with the beliefs of the seniors in such a way that their destruction caused SCP-3041 to feed on the beliefs of the only remaining familial group. If SCP-3041 enters baseline reality, Protocol Damnatio ad Bestias would be enacted. This will involve usage of thaumiel objects and mass amnestics, which will serve to erase Christianity from the historical record, cut off from its food supply. This is theorized to be an act that would fully neutralize SCP-3041. I'm thinking someone had a little too much fun with the idea of potentially purging a faith from reality. Addendum. It has been noted that SCP-2852 has ceased its appearances after the first recorded SCP-3004 event. Due to the similarities in manifestations, this is hypothesized to be related. Currently, all personnel assigned to SCP-2852 have been reassigned to SCP-3004. And SCP-2852 is... It's Cousin Johnny! This is actually good news, because that means that Cousin Johnny has been neutralized as well. And as he should have been, because man, that particular thing made me quite angry. Moving on to the Site-C Lux report. Hello, Record. My name is Agent Timothy Lutterman. I'm a member of Mobile Task Force Sigma-25. We've always called ourselves Ghostbusters. To be honest, I don't understand why. If anything, we become ghosts. Sorry, rambling. I'm just coming down from all the stuff we pump ourselves with to be able to get outside, still seeing trails, you know? Still kind of freaked out from all that shit. For the official record, MTF S-25 is the result of Project Site-C, which was a project to basically use astral projection in order to better contain trouble SCPs. That kind of deal. You know, things no human drone could ever go, which happens to more often than our business than yes. Project Sightsee Lux was utilizing Sightsee technology and esoterica to, check out the big bug. So before I went in, I read the report on 3004. Fucked up stuff. The kind of stuff that gets your stomach in a knot just to imagine. You don't understand fear until you're a disembodied soul floating around and within and above and below a monstrosity beyond your reckoning. The method was easy enough. I don't know how they did it, but they captured a 3004 too. All they did was let it out, and I latched onto it, like, well, a soul bug. Not bug as in those things, but a bug as in listening to things you shouldn't inside. Where it lives, it's empty. There's only it, and there's the bugs. Except they're not the bugs as you see them, they're the bugs as it sees them. And there are so many colours, they just kind of look like some Jackson Pollock nightmare smearing all over the darkness. But it's not darkness. It's nothing. This thing is within nothing. I can't describe it. But there's nothing else but it and the bugs. And me, I guess. I'd say it was cold, but cold is a feeling. Sure, cold is a lack of heat, but this is a lack of anything. It's hard to look at 3041. It's too big. It's just waking up. I realised that when I saw it. You know, when you wake up and lay in bed for a few hours before getting up. I don't know, maybe I'm just depressive, but that's what this thing is. All of it is idle. The 3004 bends are it hitting the snooze button and staring at the ceiling. I don't want it to wake. That's all I'm thinking. And then it sees me. It's a big bug, and it's an old man. And it's a cicada on a cross. And then it's stained glass and wood stretching infinite. It's too many things to try to pick out at once. It's like someone played all the slides in the slideshow at once, overlapping. It hurts so bad to look at it. And that it talks, and it all hurts worse. The thing you need to realize is that it's impossible to speak to these things with words. You don't hold a conversation. They beam thoughts, concepts, worlds at you, and you just gotta sift through the shit to get to something meaningful. And I've met some talkative ones with something else. This was too much. It thinks it's God. Not a God, but God. It was so happy to see me, but that joy was nothing I wanted to be a part of. It was all blood and teeth. It sees what we have, it sees what we believe. I think it thinks it's giving us what we want. It doesn't understand metaphor. It doesn't understand that we don't resurrect. It asked me if I missed it. I don't think we ever neutralized it. Shit, maybe we did. But when it went to sleep, I think it thought it was a hibernation or like a birth. Like it laid an egg and made itself. Maybe it got thinking it was even more of a cicada than before. And when it came back, it gave us all bugs back. It basically said, "You're welcome." It's not exactly protocol, I guess, to talk back to these things, especially something like this. But I tried to tell it that we didn't want them and that it hurts. It all hurts us. I don't think it hurt. It didn't want to hear it. I feel like it smiled, but and that was when its mouth opened. It's hard to explain the side of it, like a rainbow opening up and out, and inside there are colours you haven't ever seen, and you shit yourself if you were a body. And then I was a communion host falling through its maw. I was the wine too. It took me, and it ate. I fell through it, and it was endless. Lots of pain, but not coming to be able to stand. A pain of the soul. It was prodding, searching me for new things. I don't think it's too much from where it is. Like looking at a TV with bad reception, and it was so happy to read me. I felt its feelers all over my first girlfriend. I felt its teeth digging into my 10th birthday. It lapped up my every memory of every mass I've ever went to, and I went to a lot. The older men do know, probably why they picked me. I don't know why it's alone. Father Clark's report said this creature would be one of many, but there wasn't anything else. It was too big for there to be anything else. It was all space and all time. I think all I did was feed it. I think it got more ammo from me. I don't know. All I can say is that we shouldn't send anyone else there. You can't argue with something like that, and we know enough. Don't go back. We don't want this thing to learn any more than it has, and it has so much history already. The thing I'm most scared of, this isn't good. I think it might become. It's confident, and, well, it's all there is. I looked, and it was all there was. Egads, I hate this thing. Let's see, where are we? They're mini fun SCP, so I will not be surprised. I'm looking at the time here. I'm thinking we're almost done with this SCP, which means we'll have time for someone to request another one. If you have an SCP you would like to have read next, please do be lining up the number. Additionally, I'm entirely mercenary and can be just arbitrarily bribed to read absolutely any SCP whatsoever. Just noting, it's always been an option. I think it's forgotten. Majority decision on protocol damnatio ad bestias. While working on the ethics committee, I have always thought to live up to the morals instilled in me through the catechisms of Roman Catholicism, and it is a very hard thing to be Roman Catholic in the Foundation and outside. This isn't due to any complicated tenets, nor harshness, but it is trying to believe in something that you know has caused undue harm. It gnaws at you. Protocol damnatio ad bestias, then, will allow for a cleaner slate. Judaism will remain untouched. Islam will only lose one of its prophets, nothing too damning. But Christianity and all it has done, all it has caused, will be gone. I don't relish this. I wish it could be in any other way. But the 3004 events are becoming more common. The big bug sticks its head through the topsoil, and we will cut it out at the root. It is impossible to say for certain what will happen. We don't know if we will be undone, or if there will simply be a deletion. We don't know if something will fill the void, or if there will be a world with a great gap. Even then, it is better than the world all coming that will come to being if we stay. The Cicada God is coming, and it doesn't know the difference between life and death. Metaphor and simile don't translate well where it is. Part of me relishes what we're doing to it in a kind of petty way. There's a non-zero chance that the thing devoured my Lord. Of course, if the Lord God could be devoured, he would not be my Lord and God, but still, the humanity in me cries out for the blood of that which killed him. We will starve it. The preliminary tests have been concluded. Protocol damnatio ad bestias will be enacted as soon as possible. And to stave off this devourer of God, we will throw one of our own to the lions to be torn asunder and to tear asunder, to be damned and to damn, to act as a perpetual lock in humanity, to stave off all belief, even close to what the cicada can eat. To use less poetic terms, a suitable candidate has been contacted, a Roman Catholic reality bender. Ethics would not allow us to put someone in the situation without their choice, without their understanding what will happen to them, and he took the mantle. They say the lions are beautiful. 12 machines, each the peak of techno-eschatology. And they really do look hungry and prone. Black carbon, shining metal with lights that are prismatic, no colors that dazzle. And if we will go in between them, they will open his brain, his mind, all Christianity, and all that he knows and he doesn't will be obliterated. Lord God sent Jesus Christ, his only Son, to suffer and die on the cross, and we, the Foundation, will throw one of our own to the lions for all eternity to undo all Christ died for, an eternity of suffering to erase the sacrifice. It isn't a fair price, but nothing is. The Holy Father, as you may well know, recently allowed for another road to sainthood. This is, of course, dying to save others. This isn't martyrdom, which is merely dying for the faith, but this is eternally dying for all of humanity, all that there will ever be, and all that ever has been. This will be the last and greatest saint of Christianity, and he will not be remembered. Before the eternal lions feed upon him, remember, for as long as you can, the eternal life of Satan Jew, the damned bulwark against darkness. Hopefully, the next world will be better. May God forgive me. If this is a sin, I will burn along with the last saint. Signed, Bridget Callahan, Child of God. Haven seems to have beaten everyone to the punch with request for SCP-2020. But before we... What about the... I don't remember the number for the dildo SCP, but I can try to find that again. It was basically, to summarize it really short, it's a dildo with several settings, the topmost of which just atomizes anything it comes in contact with. super extreme cavitation. Okay, we have 3 requests. I'm going to note down all of them, because if I don't get to them over the course of this stream, which I probably won't, we only have 20 minutes remaining, I do want to try getting to them next time. So 6021 and 1956. Before I continue on, though, any thoughts on this SCP? Clearly, Damnatio ad Bestios was never actually pulled off, at least not in our reality, and this file couldn't exist if it had been pulled off in their reality either, because they wouldn't be able to refer to any of this, as it would have all been erased from history. Also, the robot lines are just hilarious. So they have robot lines, eat a guy to purge all of Christianity. I find that funny. This mea culpa whipping over how bad they feel because they have faith in a faith that has caused harm, I find really, really funny, because humanity, through assorted faiths that have absolutely nothing to do with Christianity, have been doing really, really screwed up shit since humanity ever existed. Strictly speaking, when it comes to human sacrifice, Christianity, not a single iteration of it, has competed with, I don't know, the kingdom of Dahomey. Not even close. The Roman Empire at its worst didn't quite match that, and when the Roman Empire was at its worst, it wasn't classically Christian. Okay. I think it's time to move on with SCP-2020. Before I do, though, I would just like to replay the trailer for OTXO, so that if anyone else wants to join the raffle, they might. Soundtrack's pretty banging on his head. If this is literally soundtrack. It might not be. Did anyone else want to join the raffle for OTXO as provided by our own Exodus here? No, that's reasonable. I'm going to, this is the last playthrough of the trailer. You can all decide on that. Meanwhile, SCP-2020 coming up. SCP-2020. Object class, Euclid X Sequi. No! No SCP writer! No! Just Euclid. Arketer. Safe. I need to stop doing that. Oh! Assassin the Grey, you wish to join the raffle for OTXO? You're very welcome to do so. Okay, adding you to the raffle. We will take care of the raffle at the end of this next SCP file, which should just be Euclid. Do you mind? Thank you. Special containment procedures, SCP-2020 is to be kept in a Type 4 humanoid containment cell at Site-17. Standard amenities and precautions associated with T4HCC are in place. Dietary supplement 2209, consisting 1.4 kilograms of used shredded paper, is to be provided daily. SCP-220's cell is to be monitored for any unusual activity, with all vocalizations being transcribed. 128 grams of tissue samples from SCP-2020 are to be kept at Subsite Bio-17. Access to SCP-2020 or its biological samples are to be approved by the head of SCP-2020's research team. Description: SCP-2020 is a sapient humanoid entity approximately 2.2 or 6 feet 3 inches in height, and 70 kilograms, or 150 pounds in mass. SCP-2020 possesses unusually long and thin limbs, as well as facial features commonly associated with gray aliens, and bright green coloration. SCP-2020's body is composed primarily of a novel form of natural rubber that appears to serve skeletal, muscular, circulatory, and endocrine functions. SCP-2020's digestive system and nutritional requirements are consistent with this diet, which consists entirely of paper and water. SCP-2020 has not shown any signs of growth or aging since recovery. Further study of SCP-2020's biology has been hindered by the rubber's toughness and resistance to tearing, which renders standard methodologies ineffective, as well as its dissimilarity to terrestrial biology. SCP-2020 claims to originate from a technologically advanced extraterrestrial civilization, but will make widely different claims regarding the nature and location of the civilization when questioned. Given the circumstance of SCP-2020's recovery, see document Blinken-Roswell 2020, its avenue of research is nonetheless considered viable. SCP-2020's behavior suggests that it shares many psychological similarities with humans, such as the ability to learn, a desire for interaction, and partial understanding of social norms. It is fluent in English and responds to the names Artie, Bobby, and Izzy. It has not engaged in hostile behavior and appears indifferent to its own containment. SCP-2020 will frequently attempt to engage personnel in conversations regarding its desire to write science fiction and numerous ideas it has for science fiction stories. It has thus far failed to produce any actual writing, citing an inability to choose a concept. See attached transcript for details. Excerpt from transcript 2021 ASO. SCP-2020 was permitted to speak to researcher King on any topic it wished. Notably, we have done this one before. Just noting. I don't mind, but we have. This is a fine example of an SCP that is indistinguishable from an SCP-J. And you'll see why in just a second. No, wait guys, I have an idea, a better idea. This facility, right? And it was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back to life from the apocalypse. Like, something that could blow a big hole in the earth, and have the facility when game over, pay again, Y/N. That hole could just be like the Marianas Trench, because facility can do pretty much anything with physics and technology. I think cliche, right? I don't really know how exactly this fits in the story or anything, but I mean, it could be a setting, I think. I guess I can think. But guys, I just had another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar. That's a guy. Cliche, right? But like, the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work. Complete nonsense, but it's all working. Guys, that guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Jeremy Vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with the germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something. It's okay though, because I just got this awesome idea. There's this wizard, wait for it, from space. A space wizard, guys. That's not the only part. He's a cyborg, and he's with 5 cat girls. And guess what the twist is? That's right, the cat girls, also cyborgs. And they fight crime. Cliche, right? I mean, but it's not, because they're fighting space crime. Crime in space. Does that make sense? Guys, the story would be about them being cyborgs and fighting crime. Actually not, because I just got a better idea. Wait, it's an AI, right? An artificial intelligence on a computer. Cliche, right? Well, it makes simulations of the perfect world of that person, and then it eats their brains. Guys, maybe it's not actually doing that, and I guess characters don't know for sure what's actually doing that because we can't see inside it. But there's a plot twist, though. It then puts a fake brain in them and makes the bodies convince other people to go in the simulation. It's a horror story, or a sci-fi horror story, science horror story. Wait, guys, here's an idea for you. I just got this idea. There's a time machine, right? And it sends people to the future, and they come back to the present. And in the future, everyone dies from an asteroid. I mean, not everyone, just enough people that it's like everyone. Cliche, right? Well, the main characters, or I guess it could be the villains, or every time they're trying to look at another future, that future is even worse, because it involves everyone actually dying, except for like one time where it's like, who wants to live forever deal. And I don't know what the actual story is, but I'll think of something. Okay, wait, but seriously. Better idea, guys. There's this alien, right? Like they have in the movies with the green skin, the big black eyes and everything. Cliche, right? But wait, for whatever reason, I'll think of that later. It really wants to become a science fiction writer, but it can't stop coming with ideas long enough to do it. And the twist, here's the twist. It's talking to some people, and they're like from a government agent that already has all the things it's talking about, and they're all like, How does it know all this stuff? And does it even know that it's all real, right? No, wait. 2 words, just 2 words. Laser butt. Disease. Wait, guys, that was actually 3. Those are 3 words. This is going to be harder than I thought. Maybe we'll go in a bit over time and put in a 3rd SCP. Because I did kind of blaze through that. We have 10 minutes remaining. I could probably do that. Before I do, though, let's take care of that raffle, shall we? We have Nexus Hunter, Burning Bee, and Assassin the Grey all competing for OTXO. For those few of you who might not be aware of how this goes, this is being handled like a rare loot drop in some MMO, in which I'm going to roll a number for each of the participants one at a time in order which they signed up for the raffle. The highest number wins the game. And we have got 3 people trying for it, so this is much more exciting than the few times where there's only been 1 person. I still click the button to roll the number anyway, because I loaded this page for a reason, damn it! This is being handled by random.org, which derives its numbers from cosmic background radiation. So cosmic background radiation is ultimately choosing the winner. Weird, right? The first number for Nexus Hunter is an inauspicious, but not certain to lose, 36. Next up, we roll the number for Burning Bee, who has rolled a much more auspicious 79, guaranteeing that Nexus Hunter will not be winning this one. Assassin the Grey's number is coming up next, and their number is 45. So Burning Bee has won OTXO with a roll of 79. There wasn't anyone I missed for the raffle, right? There was no 4th contestant. Nope. Burning Bee, congratulations. I will get you that key as soon as we're done here. And we're not far from it, which is good, because he seems like he's getting a little bit antsy. Stay calm. Calm down. Calm yourself. Relax. Calm yourself. Calm. Chill out, man. Don't panic on me. He's a good sport, really. Typically the gentlest of them. Just, you have to understand that if you give him a bath and wash his cage, then you need to not touch him the rest of the day, because he's struggling with such that it just really jars him. Okay, let's see, what were the other SCPs? 6021 and 1956. I wonder which one is shorter. Whichever one is shorter, I will try to fit in next. Or maybe I should try to... No, I can't find the number for the dildo SCP. But I know it's a pretty short one. Maybe I can find it. Hold on. That'd be an interesting one to end it off on. Oh dear. So as it happens, there's in fact 2 SCPs that are dildo based. And I don't know if I should do this, but this is fairly short. Oh no, it's got red links in interviews. We can't do this. Ah, maybe it's this one. Aha, here we go. I found it. It is in fact SCP-297. The other tilde-based SCP requires way too much time to read through, so we're not doing that this time. I have no objection to going through this. This is not a family-friendly show. It's not claimed to be. I did not make this for children. If anyone hears of children despite that, well, then I will tell your parents on you. See if I don't. without further ado, SCP-297 to wrap the show up. SCP-297 correctly classified as safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-297 is to be kept in a standard lockbox at Site-19's high-value item storage facility. Standard positive action defenses, explosive, chemical, biological, and memetic, are to be in place at all times, according to standard operating procedure. Personnel wishing to utilize SCP-297 for experimental or field purposes must fill out Form 32 and submit it to the Head of Research and Containment. Description: SCP-297 is a transparent plastic vibrator approximately 30 centimeters in length, 5 centimeters in width. Examination has determined that the internal structure has been heavily altered, and the standard 6-volt power supply has been converted into what appears to be a micronized nuclear reactor powered by a small quantity of plutonium. In addition, the standard power intensity control has been altered from the normal on-off switch with a secondary intensity dial to a single 5-stage selector switch. The bottom 4 intensity levels, off, low, medium, and high, appear to be within normal parameters for such a device and can be used safely for such purposes if so desired. I doubt that's actually allowed, though. When turned to the highest intensity setting, labeled suicide, SCP-297's vibration frequency swiftly increases up to 200,000 kilohertz. If the upper portion of the device is touched to any solid material, SCP-297 will change frequency to one that causes a positive harmonic feedback loop in the object, causing the object to lose cohesion within 60 seconds of continued contact. This invariably kills organisms that it is exposed to. Experimentation has determined that SCP-297 can disintegrate 1 meter cube of concrete into powder within 10 seconds. The time required for other objects varies based upon the density and harmonic properties of the material. Due to the similarities between the effects of SCP-297 and SCP-1012, investigation into whether both effects or variations of the same phenomena are ongoing. Addendum: Circumstances of retrieval. SCP-297 was retrieved from the 3rd basement of the parking structure of a 30-story apartment building in Los Angeles, California, on redacted date. According to eyewitnesses, the device bored a vertical hole through the entire building's northwestern corner, starting from the 30th floor and proceeding floor by floor through the entire structure until a maintenance worker neutralized the device by turning it off. All witnesses were detained and administered Class A amnestics, and the device was retrieved by Foundation personnel. A large quantity of organic slurry, later identified as a liquefied human body, was found on the 30th floor at the upper limit of the damage. Yeah. So I don't know where she got it, but the setting said quite clearly suicide, so I'm guessing this was intentional, but awfully rude of them. I mean, to just ensure, not to make sure it doesn't, well, effectively burn its way through the entire building. Messy. At least it didn't catch any fire. And I'm pretty sure no amount of filing paperwork will allow any employee of the Foundation to use it for its original purposes. That said, the weaponization potential is astounding. That is cavitation on steroids right there. Okay. And that brings us to the end of this particular stream. If you want to be aware, the schedule continues with the next SRS on Saturday. Saturday SRS on Rumble. Then Sunday will be the next article raid, which, for as long as I keep getting 13 likes on Rumble, will stay there, but if I don't, we'll be coming back to the Arketer Live channel. Otherwise, we are done here. So, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you very much for making this a very successful show with a full 20 likes. Congratulations to Burning Bee on winning OTXO. And until next time, so long as progress continues, success is inevitable. Ostensibly.